Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's start over. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Andrew with Fact HVAC here with Dan, and today we're going to be talking about how you can get free money. So check us out. So one of the biggest things that I'm excited about that we're kind of getting some more clarification on, Dan, is the HEERA rebates that are coming out. I always have to imagine it's like HERA or something like that,
yeah,
right?
here and homes
Right.
are the two, and they're a little convoluted, but the short version is you can get a heat pump and you can get a bunch of rebates and federal funding for it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we've been told this was coming for the last 2 years. And I think right now, really, there's only about 12 states that are active in the whole country that are dispersing this. And we just happen to be in one of them, which is awesome. And so I figured since we've got some more clarification, there's actually an application out now. This would be a great time to kind of talk to our customers, give that information about what's happening, how it all works, and kind of where we see this going, right?
Right.
Some disclaimers off the top. Obviously, there's now a new administration that's come in, right? There's already some discussion about executive orders and possibly some suspension of these things. Kind of what have you heard regarding some of that stuff?
So there was one, it's important to note that there was an executive order signed that issued, a stop of funding for the IRA, which is the act that created this bill, for 90 days while they reevaluate how they want to administer it. However, that was to the federal agencies. It was not to the states that were already active with plans in place and already distributing the funds they had already received. So there are funds that have been received by Arizona. The plan is still in place so far. Will it get to the full $150 million amount that was originally allocated to the program for Arizona? We don't know that yet. But so far, the program is being governed by the Governor's Office of Resiliency here in Arizona, and they're administering it through a initiative called Efficiency Arizona.
Right.
So far, that site is still up. All of the information on it is still up, and consumers are able to go in and start filling out their applications and seeing what they would qualify for. So right now, it seems like it'll still be here for at least a number of people this year. And, again, they're not saying that they're going to repeal or revoke the act. They're looking for how to best administer it and what qualifications to put on it for who would qualify. So we don't really see, there's a huge push to electrify the country. That's not going to change for any intents and purposes with the new administration. Obviously, they have their hands in electric cars, electric everything, formerly solar. There's some pretty big names in there that they're going to push forward with something here. It's just a matter. It may look a little different, but for right now, Arizona was one of the 12 that was active already. So they're not necessarily directly affected by an executive order at this point. It's just a matter of downstream. How long does it run out?
Yeah, and that's, just so everybody knows, that was kind of one of the big things that we saw that was going to be a potential hurdle, but it's great to know right now we don't really see those things, at least here in Arizona. Some of the really cool things that everybody should really understand with this program is it is income-based. And this is a huge push to help people alleviate some of the expense in electrifying, making their homes more energy efficient. I know we've kind of done some tests with the application process and the income side of things. It is income-based, and so everybody should really understand that. The biggest and best thing is, and will help in this process, is getting the customers to the application through the state, because this is a state-administered thing. This is not done by Fact or any other contractor, right? And so making sure that customers get to the right places, fill out the application the right way, because once they input their household income, it'll tell them that they can qualify from, I believe it's $5,000 all the way up to $14,000 on a point of sale rebate. That's huge for people when you start looking at the cost of things.
Right, absolutely. And again, if you're, if you make less than 80% of the the annual median income in your area,
Right.
you can qualify up to 100% of the cost up to $14,000, which can get you a new heat pump in a lot of cases, right? I should, clarify that if you already have a heat pump, you're not going to qualify for that program. It's
Right.
somebody who's going from a furnace system or non-electric heating element to a heat pump.
Yep.
So clarify that. This is really targeting those people who have gas units either on their roof or in their attic or whatever.
Yep.
So that's one big key. And then, even if you make between 80% of the average median income in your area up to 150% of the average median income, I guess it's annual median income is really the correct way to say that, right? You can still qualify for 50% of the cost of your project up to $14,000. So again, if you go, if you end up with a really, really high efficiency unit that's going to save you a lot on your electricity bills and things like that, you could still end up getting 14 grand back.
Right.
So it's really important to, make sure you go through the right process. The website really, you input your stuff. It will give you the exact amount you qualify for.
Yep.
And it will tell you kind of what percentage rate you can get on it.
Yep.
So, in every zip code, my understanding right now is it's being done mostly by a zip code or HUD districts.
Yep.
So, again, somebody in Gilbert's going to have a different qualifier than someone in North Scottsdale. And that's going to be different than, Levine or further out in Buckeye or something like that.
Right.
Each one's going to be based on the median income of that area. So the best way to do it is just fill it out online.
Yeah. And what's really cool about this is that it doesn't take away from the other incentives that are out there for people. If the equipment qualifies, you still qualify for SRP utility credits. You can still file for the 25C tax credit if you qualify for those things. And so when we think about this and we hear these terms like, 100% coverage or 50% coverage up to 14,000, what I want people to really understand is looking now for contractors that put you in the right programs and qualifying equipment for the right price, right? We see so many people gouging for high efficiency systems.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. Whereas when you look at our website at, facthvac.com and people can price out a new system, qualifying equipment we have qualifying equipment that's sub $14,000.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's huge for people to understand that they could get something more energy efficient, more reliable for their home, and be protected with warranties after, spending $2,000-$3,000 a year maintaining
on repairs,
something, right?
Yeah.
Or they're concerned about the cost because the new refrigerants and the costs are rising. Like, these rebates can provide real help and relief for people that need it.
Correct.
And by finding the right contractor, by looking at pricing, which is why we make it transparent and available to everybody, this does huge benefit. This gives our customers a huge benefit.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And it's one of the things that I take a lot of pride in with us here at Fact is people can literally get these qualifying systems for sub 14,000.
Right.
And that's huge.
And that's going to be a big boost. And, again, especially in a marketplace where the average cost of units is dramatically increased over the last 5 years in particular.
Yep.
And we've seen, a certain consortium of contractors here in the Valley who would like to see the average price of a new AC unit go above $20,000.
Right.
When it's a life-sustaining piece of equipment, it's an appliance that keeps you alive all summer and makes Arizona inhabitable.
Yeah.
It just I think it's important to see the new technologies that are coming out that can keep the cost of equipment lower rather than higher. So we're always happy to consult on that and get out there and help people understand that, regardless of any rebate in the world, you can still get qualifying high efficiency equipment for a real price.
Right.
So,
now, with some of the things that, part of the requirements of this program is to make sure that there's really an understanding of what the energy consumption is of your old system and then kind of what the new system is doing.
Correct. You have to prove that there's going to be some energy savings there. Yeah.
Right. So, kind of explain to everybody what we're doing here at Fact to help people in that evaluation process and then the end result.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We've already been doing this for a while, and that's part of our brand is giving people fact-based, analysis and evidence on their systems of what they should do for it. So we use an AI-empowered tool that real-time monitors the operations of the equipment. It's tied to a tablet through Bluetooth tools and everything. And it shows every component, how it's operating, whether it's in spec or out of spec for the manufacturer's recommendations, what level of energy the unit is consuming, and then gives it a rating based on SEER or SEER 2, as the new updated guidelines are here. For those who don't know, SEER is the rating of energy efficiency and energy consumption in our industry.
Like miles per gallon on a car.
Right. It's like miles per gallon on a car, right? It's how efficient is this working? So if your current system, when you bought it, maybe it was a 12 SEER or 13 SEER or whatever. Right. Well, now under SEER 2, and as it's, diminished in its performance and its ability to operate efficiently over its life, it may be operating only as a 6 or an 8 SEER 2 rated system. Meanwhile, you can go out to the market with us and find a 18.5 SEER rated system that's far more, it's qualified as a high efficiency system across all rebates, including, SRP, our electrical groups, all that. Right. And you can buy that system for a very affordable cost, and all of a sudden you're going to be saving on your utility bills, everything else. Our AI platform will show you the difference between an 8 and an 18.5 and what you could be saving on the consumption. A big key of that on that point is, it's been rated between 50 and 55% of your electrical bill in Arizona is operating your AC system or your heating system, depending on the time of year. Right. So if you look at your electrical bill and you say, okay, 50% of that is my AC system, and you look at the savings estimates and stuff, and it says by getting a new system, I can save up to 30 or 40% of my electrical consumption on my AC. Well, simple math, 100% divided by 50, you're right. Okay. So 50, right. Well, 40% of 50, you're right there, 20-ish, 25%-ish of your monthly electrical bill, you could be saving right now by having a higher efficiency system. Right. Now, realize that you can go get, an SRP rebate. You can go get a tax credit. You can also qualify possibly for the homes or the HERE incentives as well. All of a sudden, you can be out of pocket very little or even close to nothing from what we've seen. Right. And have a 20 to 25% savings on your electrical bill every month. You're doing good, and you can prove it with tangible data.
And that's one of the biggest things that when we started to see the trend in the equipment manufacturing and designs, we wanted to make sure that our technicians were empowered with the right tools to show customers exactly what's happening. Because for so long, a lot of people view this as just, it's like replacing my washing machine or my dryer. Yes, it is an appliance in your home, but it's the most important one. And if you structure it the right way, you can, one, see a return on your investment, and two, make sure that you're protected for a long time, both from an energy standpoint and your comfort level inside of your homes.
Absolutely.
And so, that's one of the great things about being able to walk a customer through all of that and show them all of these things and show them exactly why, making an investment into these new systems, converting from furnaces to heat pumps is a massive benefit for them.
It's being highly subsidized and incentivized, right? Whether by the electrical companies or state and federal governments, that is the initiative right now. Right. Is we're going to electrify the country, and we're going to do it. We're going to get off fossil fuels, et cetera. And the way they're going to do that is they're going to incentivize heat pumps versus furnaces. Yep. However, I would love to point out that if you have a furnace and you really don't want to go electric, there are still some really, really good options out there that can be affordable, and we can still show you, in a lot of cases, you have an older system that's working, it's electric and AC at all times. Right. So that's one big key. So if you increase by buying a new system, if you take out an older system that's not, operating efficiently, it's got a really low SEER rating, we can show you the savings on that as well. And again, you're going to consume far more electricity at a higher expense rate during summer than you are in winter anyway. So the good and the kind of unique thing about Arizona is I think we're positioned the best of almost any state to benefit from these types of incentives, because we're all using electrical air conditioners no matter what. And that's our load season, right? If we were in Minnesota, it might not be quite as big of a saving, but our peak energy costs are summer billing, and our peak energy uses are summer, and that is 100% electric. Right. So it pays to get the math done allow us to, have us out, we'll do a full analysis on your system, show you exactly what's working, what's not, how energy efficient it really is today, not what was on the sticker when you put it in 5, 10 years, 20 years ago, and show you what it really rates out at, how much it's costing you, and then see what the savings can be.
Yeah. And, going to break the fourth wall a little bit. Don't miss out on free money. Like, that's the big thing. We don't charge for an in-home evaluation.
Right.
So
if you're considering
don't
replacing,
miss out on free money.
Don't miss out on free money.
No, but I mean, in all seriousness, this is a good opportunity because of the price increases that we've talked about before, because of the new refrigerants.
Yep.
This is a great time to offset through rebates and incentives and finding the right product out there. So
absolutely.
So I'm super excited about some of these things that are happening. I think it's going to make a real difference for a lot of people, especially when they start thinking about replacement and things like that. So I'm excited to be able to sit down and explain this to our customers, help them through that process. And all of that, because again, I think it'll make a real impact for people. So
awesome.
Everyone's got to kind of get while the getting's good. So
well, it's still there.
Exactly. So, but yeah, man, thanks for taking out some time. I think that's going to help a lot of people understand a little bit more about these programs that are coming out. And man, I can't wait to see the first person who gets their first check from this thing. It's going to be kind of cool. So
that'll be fun.
Awesome, man.